Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the drive. How are y'all doing this morning? I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Just pulling out of the parking lot of my work. So today I just kind of I was watching a few things on Instagram that I wanted to react to because they kind of blew my mind balls. So there's this Canadian girl. I think she's an actress. Y'all may know her, Nicole Arbour. First of all, she's totally bae. Oh my gosh, I am not a lesbian, but she's hot. But she's also an actress, and she does a lot of political commentary on her Facebook and Instagram page. I think she's from Canada, but that's irrelevant, I guess. But she had a video called Reality ASMR, which I had to look that up. It's apparently this phenomenon where people are obsessed with whispering, and I get it. It was actually pretty soothing, but she made a few points that I just wanted to touch on. First of all, I did not freaking know that there are only 0.6% of the population identifies as transgender in the North American continent. I looked it up. It's actually very close to the number. It's around 0.6, 0.8, depending on what site you're looking at. But it is still a fraction. It's not even a whole percentage. So why is transgender constantly in my face? We have better things to worry about than what you identify as, okay? Honestly, my best friend asked me what I thought of transgender people the other day, just because we were having a political talk. And I'm my thing is, do you be happy, don't cost me money, and don't be so damn sensitive. First of all, transgender people, what I hear a lot about is the use of pronouns. First of all, can we all just stick with the him, his, her, whatever, she, okay? What is all this Z and they and they and them? First of all, they and them is for multiple people. Are you telling me there are multiple people inside your body? Because I think that's called dissociative identity disorder, and that's a real thing. So I don't like all that. And the they, them, I know that a college in Europe was trying that. Okay, let's just stick to the him, hers, and shit, Oh shit, is that cop? No, it's not a cop. But the fact that it's just 0.6% of y'all, and I gotta keep hearing about how you're offended by getting called the wrong pronoun. First of all, the people you call cisgendered, we get called the wrong gender all the time on accident. Androgynous people get called the wrong gender on accident constantly. I accidentally called an androgynous man a woman because I thought that maybe, I don't know, that he was either a very masculine woman or a feminine man. I was not judging either way, but I accidentally called him a she. Okay, but you know what he didn't do? He didn't flip the freak out because I'm a total stranger and it's really irrelevant to his life whether I know he's a boy or a girl. That's all I'm saying. If you get called by the wrong pronoun, if it's not someone you're going to ever see again, let it go. And if you don't know how to do that, you can watch Frozen and Elsa will teach you. Just like she teaches all the other little girls to let it go. Okay? So, like I said, don't cost me money, but do you. Alright? That's all I really wanted to say about transgender and that whole argument. I also want to talk about Governor Cuomo versus Donald Trump. Alright, so Donald Trump is being petty, as he normally is, and saying that New York will probably not be getting the vaccine. And Governor Cuomo goes on to clarify, well, he makes a very good speech that, he doesn't trust the federal government. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't trust this administration either. I don't trust the federal government that much either. So I understand his desire to want to have his own state panel to do an evaluation on the vaccine before he's distributing it out to his population. He was elected to protect the interests of his constituents. Wow, I'm tripping over my freaking words today. All right. remember, y'all, I work 12 hours before I record this, so bear with me. He is elected to help his constituents. That didn't sound any better, y'all, but we're going to roll with it. And so he's trying to do what he thinks is in the best interest of the people of the state of New York, the most hard-hit state of the coronavirus. I don't blame him. But for Trump to be so petty about it and be like, oh, New York, he doesn't trust us, like, and that's just you. Again, the federal government is not, there's a reason we have states and state governors and state representation so that states can protect their own interest. You know, there's a reason we're not just all one freaking country. Well, we are one country. There's a reason we're not all just one big state, because all the areas of each state have different interests that are being represented. And so I totally commend Governor Cuomo for doing that. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, so I apologize. I think it's Cuomo. It's like Coumo or Cuomo, something like that. But he also was saying how the CDC estimated it was going to cost $6.6 billion to distribute this vaccine, and yet the federal government only gave him $140 million to do it. So what his big complaint is that he's trying to help the brown, black, and poor communities, which I don't understand why he can't just say the poor communities, why he has to distinguish black and brown, but whatever, to each his own, and it still sounded cool when he was saying it. So he's just trying to help out the poor communities within the state of New York, and he's trying to make sure that everyone is able to have access to it, not just the people who can pay for it. He's wanting churches to get involved. He's wanting public medical outreach to get involved. It's what he wants sounds really, really good. It's kind of hard to do. Stand by. What the fudge? Can you move? Why did I get behind a freaking school bus, y'all? A freaking school bus. I thought schools were closed. Why you here? Anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. I'm going to take a sip of my Coke real quick. That probably won't help me fall asleep. Oh, yeah. What I was going to go on about my other tangent is, and back to the Nicole Arbor video, because part of this plays in, is she made a comment about celebrities, complaining live that we don't, we're not helping out poor people and environment homeless population from their mansions. And I totally agree with that. Especially with this vaccine. If, celebrities, you guys, they want the government to freaking regulate everything for them. If you want to protect the homeless and the poor population, start by helping Governor Cuomo deliver this vaccine to poor communities. Why don't you use some of that money that probably won't even put a dent into your freaking finances and will be a tax write-off later, and get the vaccine to these poor communities? Why are you waiting for the government to force you to do it? That's so shitty. You have so much money. If I had as much money as you did, I would do it. I would literally do what I can and give as much money as I could to help get this freaking vaccine to whoever wanted it. And I say whoever wanted it because I sure as hell do not want it, because I don't trust how fast they've made the vaccine. And I know it seems like it's been forever. 2020 has been dragging, y'all. But it really hasn't been that long as far as medical and scientific study has gone for the coronavirus itself and to have produced a vaccine. So, they did the same thing with Gardasil back in 2006 where, and I don't know if you see my earlier video, I do go on a rant about this. They found later that this vaccine was linked to neurological issues because it was rushed. I even had a nurse telling me about this the other day, that because it was rushed, they had all these issues early on, and it wasn't tested properly for boys initially. So that's the thing, is they made this vaccine so freaking fast, and yet we still don't even fully understand the virus itself. How can you make a vaccine for a virus that you don't fully understand? I'm going to wait a couple years personally, just because I don't know what the side effects are going to be. I don't know, the immunity might not be as good as everyone says it is. It says about 95%, this latest one. I think is what they were saying, but I don't know. I don't think, how come I'm behind a garbage truck now? Like, what the piss, y'all? Let's do this. Bye, truck. Think green, y'all. Think clean. The only celebrity I really see doing anything, doing more action than talking is really, like, I was telling my husband the other day, like, Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know why I just call him Leo. We ain't that cool. Not yet, anyways. Call me. Because he's actually taking on environmental issues. He's actually doing stuff with the environment. He doesn't get a whole lot of publicity for it. Like, you don't see him on Facebook every other freaking article, but he does do it. He does do things to help the environment, and he uses his celebrity status to do that. You don't see a whole lot of that with these political issues like climate change, like universal health care. Celebrities, if you think we should have universal health care, why don't you kick a couple bucks towards it? Why are you waiting for the government to do it? Why don't you go to an insurance company and say, hey, I'd like to help out and pay for these people's insurance? It's not like it's going to kill you to pay someone's $1,000 a month insurance. Like, if that's really how you feel, do's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why you're waiting for the government to make it, like, required. First of all, for me, it takes out the sincerity of the act itself. And two, it makes me think that you don't know how to do anything without the government telling you as far as helping people. You donate to all these charities, sure, but those charities, while they're helping lots of people, they're not helping the majority of Americans, probably. A lot of them, from what I see, are charities for rare diseases. Diabetes is actually a very common disease. If you're donating there, fine. But there are still kids in poverty. There are still kids not getting a decent education. Why don't you put some of that money into their schools instead of just putting it into your kid's private school? You could probably afford to do both. I'm just saying, if this is really how you feel, be about it. Don't just sit on the top floor of your mansion and scream about it. Like, actually take some action. Another thing I want to talk about, so if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, it's at the little @ sign, The Drive with Erin, just like it sounds, but Erin is ERIN, not AARON, because I'm not a boy. I know I don't look like I'm not a boy, maybe. For all of you that were about to make that joke, you're dumb. But I'm not a boy, and I don't know any girl that spells their name AARON. It's ERIN. So The Drive with Erin, all spelled out. But I do post the videos and the Instagram stuff that I talk about on here. I posted everything on my story. So after this video, if you want to see what the hell I'm talking about, go follow me on Instagram, and then you'll see my story, and it'll show you all the videos I'm talking about and all the videos that I'm responding to. But this other one that I was watching today that I wanted to have a reaction for, of course I had a reaction, but I'd like to share my reaction. It was about hold on, I wrote it down. Moral superiority complex of the left. Yeah, it sounds like that's not going to be nice towards the left. And it's really kind of not. And I've noticed that this is very true. This video goes into how the left is very good at, if you disagree with any part of them, then you're a bad person. You're immoral. Who are you? Type of thing. And they're saying how it's not constructive to the conversation. And I agree. I mean, as a mostly righty, like, I don't feel comfortable completely expressing my views. I do feel like if I sit here and say that I'm pro-life and that I don't support abortion, that I'm just gonna, I just get hammered and ridiculed with all these, first of all, really terrible arguments, or small arguments for a very small group of women and it doesn't justify the rest. So, I agree, and he was saying how it's starting to become more and more of an issue. So that's why the right, they seem so radical. They're probably getting angry over this situation because, like I said, I have a lot of lefts on my Facebook page, and God forbid I respond and I'm like, no, that's actually not at all how this works. You know, like, then it's like, oh, I'm a terrible person. Oh, I'm so awful. And then they just act like they're so much better than everyone because they're liberal, because they just want everyone to be happy. And they don't realize that just because they have that thought process, that doesn't mean that they're right. Like, you can't be happy at the expense of other people. And, you know, there's still some things that, like, I don't know. Sometimes when I look at the left, it just seems like feminists. Let me ask you something, okay? Why is it that in order to be a feminist, I have to be okay flashing my armpit hair and walking around naked? Like, that seems to be, or talking about my period and not being, you know, like, don't get me wrong. I don't mind to talk about my period. Hell, I do let my armpits go every now and then, but I don't wear a shirt that's going to show it, you know. And all of a sudden, I'm not a feminist if I feel that way. I'm not a feminist if I don't agree that a man can be a woman, which is kind of an even odder concept to me than any other part of the feminist argument. You know, they say there's no such thing as a conservative feminist. Well, you're looking at one right here. And I actually know a few. You can be conservative feminist. The whole point of being a feminist is having an equal amount of opportunity and choices to live the life you want to, the same opportunities as men. And I do. But it doesn't mean that I agree with the views. That doesn't mean that I think that we should just be flaunting our vaginas everywhere. That's, you know, I just don't understand the need for it. I don't want to hear, you know, it's the same thing with when I'm talking to men. I don't want to hear about all their ball sack stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about their sweaty ball sack. So why would a man want to hear about your sweaty vagina? Like, I don't, well, actually some men are perverts and they like that. But you miss the point. You get the point. Why they would want to hear about your periods or anything, because it doesn't make... Why am I behind this damn... How come I keep ending up behind trucks today? Like, I swear. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Okay, no more trucks in sight, y'all. Hopefully it freaking stays that way, because this is so annoying. But again, I don't understand why the feminist movement is like, you gotta be hardcore, you know, almost hippie-like, and just, I don't know. It's, you know, I hate getting talked down to that I'm not a feminist because I believe I like to have some traditional values, you know, but I'm also still a working woman. Like, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. Oh God, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I was for 7 months, y'all. That shit was hard. Oh my God, being a stay-at-home mom is hard. Some women, you know, and oh my God, by the way, someone said motherhood is not a calling. First of all, it's a calling like any other profession, like any other art. There are some women that are just born to freaking be mothers, and they are fantastic at it. I have a friend, she has 2 and 1 on the way, and her oldest just turned 4. She got 4-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and 1 on the way. Like, and she's been stay-at-home momming it this whole freaking time. But, you know, in some circles, she's not considered a feminist because she stays home with her kids, because she chose to be a stay-at-home mom. Why is she not a feminist? She believes in equal opportunity. She just chose a different one for herself. That's her right. That's part of the feminist movement that happened in the 60s and 70s. You know, the real one where they were fighting for real rights and not just a cultural change. The feminists nowadays, I don't know what you guys think you're fighting for. There's some attitudes that need to be changed. I concur. But that's, you know, let's be realistic. Some of those are not going to die out until that older generation dies out. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that is what it is. And if you notice, the younger generation of men, they don't treat women like that mostly. You know what I'm saying? So give it time, take a break. But as far as realistically speaking, they keep talking about the gender pay gap, and I don't see it. Everything I'm looking at is because women choose, you know, to be like a nurse over a doctor, which is nothing wrong with that. Very noble professions. They choose to be a paralegal over a lawyer. They choose to be different jobs, and whether, and that's their choice, and that's fine. And whatever the reason they chose that career, whatever they chose that for, is their prerogative and whatever. I'm not judging them for it, but don't say that a man gets paid more just because you chose not to go for higher education. And I don't mean to say that as you chose, it was your no, because sometimes there are life situations. Like me, I'm debating, I'm in school right now, but I'm debating going to nursing school versus trying to go to med school. And that's because I'm a mom, and I don't know if I want to be in school and be away from my kids that long. It's just my priorities have shifted mentally, and that's okay. As a feminist, I have the equal opportunity to tell my husband, you watch the kids, you let me pursue a career. That is what feminism is fighting for. But I also have the right to say, you know what? Pursuing a doctor program, a medical doctor program, is not more important than me spending time with my kids, because that's really what it is. It's a choice between school and kids. And that's okay too. That is my right to choose that as a feminist. It doesn't make me any less of a feminist if I decide to choose my children over my career. And I feel like the left liberal feminists make it seem that way. Make it seem like if you don't choose you as a woman and other women around you first, you're not a feminist. And that's just completely inaccurate. And I don't like that. And I think the rhetoric needs to be changed. So let's all, and ladies, like I said, can we just keep our tampons in our clothes? I don't know why I have to be shown, why I have to just be okay being thrown images of a girl with a tampon string sticking out. Everyone knows that you have a period. I don't understand why we have to, I'm not saying keep it private, but Jesus, I don't want to see hairy nutsacks either. I'm sure men have their menstrual issues too. I don't want to see, hold on a second. I don't trust bitches. All right. I don't want to see guys, right after they've had a wet dream. I don't want to see their semen. So no, I don't want to see your periods and stuff. I know you have periods. I have periods. My husband, has his wet dreams, or at least he did as a teenager. I don't think he has them anymore. He's a little bit older. But we're not, we don't need to show each other all these bodily fluids. Relax, Oh, I'm almost home, but I almost forgot that I did want to talk about Harry Styles. First of all, do you boo, wear a dress. Y'all know how I feel about transgender and cross-dressing and all that stuff. Just don't cost me money is really all I care about. And, and stop giving me shit for the gender pronouns. But I looked at the dresses. Why did they choose the ugliest freaking dresses I have ever seen? I know I don't know fashion. I'm not a fashion critique. I don't know high fashion. Oh, isn't that Tesla? I don't know high fashion and whatever, so maybe they are good quality for high fashion. But as a layman person, they're the ugliest freaking dresses I've ever seen. And the ugliest freaking skirts I've ever seen. Yeah, because some of them are skirts. None of them are cute. If he had at least picked, I don't know, if Emma Roberts had helped him pick a dress, maybe, because every time I see her, she's wearing something gorgeous. If he had worn a dress that was chic and actually pretty, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But these dresses are freaking ugly, dude. If you're gonna make a statement and wear a dress, wear a pretty one. Wear a freaking ball gown or something, Even the Queen dresses better than that, and she's from another generation entirely. You know what I'm saying? She don't even have the style upkeep. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care that he wore a dress. Whatever. Probably is a lot of wind under there, You get a breeze. I know I do when I'm wearing a dress, but they're just the ugliest things I have ever seen. And I just think he needs to pick a better dress. I'll help him pick out a better dress. Yeah. Although, I guess for Vogue, I don't know. Like I said, not a fashion blogger. Don't know anything about the latest fashion. Okay, the extent of my fashion is really these green scrubs. I am not a fashionista. by any means. So take my opinion for whatever the heck you want to take it as, and we can move on from there. I had a sticky note of things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I kind of talked about them all, and but I'm not quite home. So the whole point of this is for you guys to drive all the way home with me. I am very upset. So my work is I'm not upset. I'm not actually upset. Just thought I'd bring this up. I was supposed to get a turkey from my work today. The company's giving us they said like a 15-pound turkey. They're giving all of us, like individuals, not just like the whole company one turkey, but like every single individual person a 15-pound turkey. First of all, I don't know how to cook a 15-pound turkey, so this should be a very interesting Thanksgiving. But thank you to my company that I work with for doing that. But I was supposed to pick it up today, and then I go into work, and the sign's like, oh, sorry, you got to pick it up tomorrow. I'm like, I don't work tomorrow night, so that doesn't help me. I got to send my poor husband, doesn't know what he's doing, on his way to work to go pick up this turkey and store it in his fridge. So, but I am excited to cook this turkey. It'll be my first big turkey, because my family really likes dark meat. And you all can fight me on this, but dark meat is totes better than white meat. I will literally slap anyone that says anything different. So if you say anything different, if you comment anything different, here's a preemptive. Okay? Okay. Just making sure we're clear on that. I love the dark meat. Thanksgiving is next week, I think, right? Yeah. It is next week, y'all. And my mother is coming. I actually like my mother, though, so, and she likes my kids, so that works too. Well, I guess I will just say goodbye, because I ran out of things to talk about. You know how it is. All right. Deuces.